All right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we'd like to give our praise, honor, glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash.
Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone that taught us his truth. And salutations to the hopeful elect that's around the four corners of the globe. And the elect begins with the 144,000. Yahweh, who the world ignorantly calls God and Jehovah. Ba'ashem is in the name. Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. The Rakakadash is the Holy Spirit. With the brothers of the Great Millstone Chicago camp. I'm the brother Iwalumi, joined with
Brother Shataria,
the brother Asad,
Shemayba,
Yermayba, brother Adiah,
brother Ibadia.
come back at you, brothers and sisters of the household of faith of the Hope for Rights of Life with another lesson. When we hope this lesson be edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai. Once again, we hope this lesson is edifying. We're just going to simply entitle this lesson, the greater glory to come, man, because we just chopping up with the brothers or whatnot, where it's mentioning spiritual powers, new bodies, things of that nature. Ultimately, life past America, man, ultimately the things Yahweh Shema Shai is going to give us hope for rights select. And eventually the 2/3 that's eventually going to come back into the kingdom, man. So ultimately what we're expecting these great things Yahweh Shema Shai has promised us, man. Spiritual powers, new bodies, such like that, a kingdom full of righteousness, man.
that's it.
Great food, you don't have to worry about GMOs, destroying your body. All good things Yahweh Shema Shai promised us. But you got to, brother.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 13, verse 14. For here have we no continuing city, but we seek one to come. And that's honestly, that's the only way you're going to prepare yourself for the kingdom to come, man. You got to already see it and have that eyesight and that vision, man. You got to see past Babylon, man.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and a lot of these people don't have no hope, man, because it says Hazakote says when there is no hope, the people perish, and a lot of people don't have that vision, that hope, and the greater things that's to come, man. Ultimately they can't see past America, man, because we're ultimately what in the independent dude of America's downfall, man. This place don't have another 20-30 years, man. This place is getting ready to. We're here, man. And we could be weeks away, because what they say, America is running out of gasoline. What's that, by July 4th? So everything is taking place, man. How about Shema Shai is making big chess moves, man? But just to back you up, this is the book of Romans 8:18, one of my favorite precepts. Romans 8:18, it says, "For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us." And what is the sufferings of this present time, man? And you got to wake up every day, got to go to a job you don't like, man. You're oppressed on a daily basis. What does Baruch 3:8 says? We are yet this day in our captivity, or ultimately what made subject to payments and different things of that nature, man. So these are the different sufferings that a Israelite will go through on a daily basis. But it says what? It's this present time or not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. And what is the glory, man? Us being immortals, man. Us having spiritual powers. Us judging this earth in righteousness, man. That's a part of the glory. And that's just to name a few things, man. Because scripture says if a brother can grab it, I have not seen it.
Isaiah 64:4. For since the beginning of the world, men have not heard, nor perceived by the ear, neither had the eye seen, O Yahweh, besides thee, what he had prepared for him that waited for him.
Yeah, he that waited for him, man. And ultimately what? The elect will be, glorified, man, because what? The elect are the ones in this time is standing stiffly for the name. Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, man, doing these said things. So they're going to be greatly rewarded, man.
And then
Go ahead.
1 Corinthians 2:9.
I'm right there.
Okay, yeah.
I'm right there. But go ahead, bring it out. That's the spirit. I'm right there. Bring it out.
But as it is written, right, was written in that Isaiah we just read, I have not seen, nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man the things which the Most High God hath prepared for them that love him.
Yeah, prepare for them that love him, man. So ultimately, our minds cannot imagine, what Yahweh Shema Shai is ultimately going to give us, man. Because our minds cannot perceive, past the things Yahweh Shema Shai is going to give us, man. Because we're really on a low level, Because the things Yahweh Shema Shai, because I believe it was Apostle Paul, man. He couldn't, put it into words what he ultimately seen, man. So how great is the things that Yahweh Shema Shai is going to give us, man. We can't perceive it, we can't imagine it, man. You can imagine it's something to your greatest potential, but it's the Lord is going to farly outseed that, man.
Yes, he is.
That's
Mhm.
like, no, that's why he was like, it was not lawful.
Yep.
It was not lawful to speak. He couldn't describe what he's seen. You know, how do you describe something nobody has ever even seen before?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I got something right here. This is pretty much what we're looking forward to and the things that we delight in right here, man. This is Isaiah 65:17, man. And it says, "For behold, I create new heavens and a new earth, and the former shall not be remembered, nor come into mind." Okay, so this is what we're looking forward to, that promise, you know what I'm saying, that kingdom that Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai has promised, you know, and is building right before our eyes, to be exact. You know, is what Daniel 2:44 says, that kingdom is being built right before our eyes. Okay, man. And this is what we delight in right here, man, because this is not our rest, man. Deuteronomy 12:9, and y'all can take it. Let me get, if somebody get it, and you can take it from there. But this is definitely not our rest, man. And these are the things that we delight in, man. These are the things that we look forward to. Okay.
Yep.
All right, that kingdom that he's talking about, man.
Outside, did you have anything?
Yeah, I was holding 2 Timothy 4:3, that's straight to the point, because we're dealing with people, you know, who are totally against what Yahweh Shai has put down for us to follow. You know, the scissor bumping and the sword fighting. But 2 Timothy 4:3 reads, "For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lusts shall they heap to themselves teachers having itching ears." So they're teaching our children the wrong way to be in alignment with the kingdom that's on its way out. So no matter what they do, they can't stop what's to come. Yahweh Shai is coming to clean this place up, man.
You can grab. You bring that up.
The elder Shatari Crawford is Deuteronomy chapter 12:9.
Kinda.
"For ye are not as yet come to the rest and to the inheritance which Yahweh Shai your power giveth you." You know,
You
know, and it keep going as it keep going and talk about having that land. So that's how you know we gotta repossess that land back, man.
That's right.
You know, the Lord say, "I'm gonna give them back the land which I swear to their fathers," man.
Yeah, right.
So our rest coincides, not this falsehood, not the one pretending to be the children of the Lord, man. You know, you got Job, the book of Maccabees. You know, when the actual Israelites are back in the land, man, it's gonna be a difference, man. The righteous is gonna be in authority, and then the people, everything gonna rejoice, man.
Hey, Shemai, but did you have something on deck, big up?
No, I ain't got
You can grab Deuteronomy 28:1, because we're ultimately experiencing the curses right now in this land, America, man.
That's right.
Everywhere an Israelite goes, we ultimately experience the curse. We're not going to be successful in the city. You know, we're going to have trouble in the city. You know, our eyes going to be evil towards our brother. But when we get in the kingdom, man, we're going to be filled with the blessings, man.
Right. Yeah.
And, you can grab that Deuteronomy 28:1. It reads to verse 14. Outside, you can grab what's that? 1 John 3. Start at the top. But you got a Shemai book.
It's Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 1. "It shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, thou power to exhort all
Take your time.
exhort and to do all his commandments, which I commanded thee this day, that Yahweh thou power shall set thee on high above all nations and of all the earth."
Mm-hmm. And exactly right, man. The Lord is going to set us up high above all the nations on the earth, man. Because the Lord is ultimately going to correct us, purify us, glorify us, man, and ultimately make us perfect, man. You know, and ultimately we are experiencing the curses because being in this vile, wicked flesh, we're ultimately subjected to wickedness.
That's right.
You know, because the Roman city says the creature was made subject unto vanity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but you got it, Shemaiah.
God, this verse 2, "And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of thy power, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Blessed shall thou be in the city, and blessed shall thou be in the field.
Yep.
Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, the increase of thy cattle, increase of all kind, and the flock of thy sheep. Blessed shall be thy basket and thy store, blessed shall thou be when thou cometh in, and blessed shall thou be when thou goest out.
So we're ultimately what? Reading about the curses. If
Yeah,
the
it's
ultimately
about
what?
that
If the
too.
Israelites ultimately hearken unto Yahweh Shem Yahushai, they will be blessed amongst all the nations upon the planet Earth, man. You know? Ultimately what? But since, you know, we transgressed the laws, statutes, and commandments, we were put in this low condition, man. And ultimately what? The Lord put our oppressors over us, man. Esau, Edom, these other nations. That's why we're in this lower state right now, man. You know, being ultimately paying tribute to this devil, being oppressed by this devil, you know what have you, man. But ultimately, when we get into our rulership, man, we're going to experience the curses, man. You know, the blessings. I mean, the blessings.
Our enemies will experience.
They're experiencing it now.
Right, that's that Deuteronomy. You would take all these curses off of your us and put on your enemies, and that's what we're witnessing right now. You know, we're seeing, you know, these curses gradually being taken off Jake and thrown on these Edomites. You know,
Because you, as you say that, Elder, you can only imagine this man how he looks in the mirror right now, knowing that his woman is putting him on blast all over the internet. She don't want to have nothing to do with him. So again, well, what we've gone through, it's your turn, and we still haven't got to the, you know, to the heavy part where stuff is really about to take hold.
And that glory starts on this side, man.
Huh,
you know, because it says, you know, we shall be blessed with 100-fold on this side. You know, loosely paraphrasing. And so the glory starts on this side, man. Yep.
Yeah.
But
Continue on.
oh yeah.
Continue on in verse 7. Yahweh shall cause thy enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. Thou shalt come out again against thee one way, and flee before thee 7 ways.
So ultimately, what? You know, our enemies are not going to overcome us, man. When our enemies come up against us, they're going to utterly fail, man.
That's right.
Continuing on in verse 8. Yahweh shall command the blessings upon thee in thy storehouses, and in all that thou sittest thou hands unto. And he shall bless thee in the land which Yahweh thou power giveth thee.
Right, because if you read the curses, it says we should go to our enemies for what? The one of all things, man. So ultimately, what? On the flip hand side, hey, our enemies is going to be coming to us for the one of all things. This talks about that in Isaiah. I forget which chapter in Isaiah. I believe it's Isaiah either 60 or 61, but I could be wrong. Though it says, thy
gates will be continually
gates shall be continually open.
Forces of the Gentiles.
Forces of the Gentiles. We shall suck the milk of the Gentiles. Also, what?
60.
Isaiah 60. Hey, you can hold that on that. We can bring that out eventually.
Continuing on in verse 9. Yahweh shall establish thee an holy people unto himself, as he has sworn unto thee, if thou shalt keep the commandments of thou shalt keep the commandments of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and walk in his ways. And all his people of the earth shall see that thou art called by thy name of Yahweh, and they shall be afraid of thee.
Right, because even the nations are going to acknowledge us, man. Because what? It's going to go back to what? You know, they are the wise and understanding nation. You know, this wise and understanding nation. Because what? On the flip hand side, these nations look at us like we're not shit, man. But when we get into our glory, what? They're going to realize, right? This is that wise and understanding nation, man. Who is near nigh unto Yahweh Shem Yahushai.
Right. Verse 11. And Yahweh shall make thee plenteous in goods, and in the fruits of thy body, and in the fruits of thy cattle, and in the fruits of thy ground, and the land which Yahweh swore unto thy fathers to give thee. Yahweh shall open unto thee his good treasures, the earth to give, the heavens to give the rains unto thy land, and see in his season, and to bless all the works of thy hand. And thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow.
Right, going back to the Isaiah 60, which we quoted. You know how ultimately what? You know, our gates are going to be open continually. They're going to be coming to, to give us the best of their things. You know, ultimately what? They're going to be, we're going to be given to them. We're going to have abundance, man. You know, we're going to have servants. We're going to have slaves, you know. But you got like 2 more verses.
Verse 13. And Yahweh shall make thee the head and shall not, it said, and not the tail. So it's like it. Yahweh shall make thee the head and not the tail, and thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be brethren
beneath.
Salaki.
It's okay.
If that thou hearken unto the commandments of Yahweh, thy power, which I commanded thee this day to observe. It's okay. And to do that, and to do them. It's verse 14. And thou, he said, and that thou not go aside from many of the word which I commanded thee this day, to the right hand or to the left hand, to go after other gods to serve them.
And exactly right, man. You know, Deuteronomy 28 and verse 1 all the way down to 14. What's the blessings, man? What will ultimately happen to the children of Israel if they obey Yahweh Hashem Yahushua?
I have one Deuteronomy 20 chapter about that.
Yeah, come. You got it.
Because you know, as brother brought out at the beginning about the glory to come, you know, so ultimately Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, he's going to set up one that is profitable, which is Yahushua Mashiach, and he's going to come down, and you know, the Lord's going to come back, and he's going to take the devil out of power, and he's going to set up the world under a righteous rule. And so Deuteronomy 28 verse 13, as the brother was speaking on, you know, this being the blessings. And the Lord shall make thee the head and not the tail, and thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath, if that thou hearken unto the commandments of the Lord thy God, which I command thee this day to observe and to do them. And in the kingdom, the Lord, you know, the scriptures talk about the Lord, you know, taking away our stony heart and giving us a fleshly heart. You know, so we're going to be the head again, because again, we're not going to be subject to vanity anymore. You know, because just the thought of foolishness is sin. So we're going to be so perfect, we're not even going to be able to go off. So we're going to keep the commandments and the laws perfectly.
Bob, you guys must bring it out.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 5, verse 25. Your iniquities have turned away these things, and your sins have withholden good things from you. You know, so that's the certain situation that we in at this point, man. When you go back into the book of Daniel, it said that this curse has consumed upon us, man. You know, we've been in these curses for generations now, throughout captivities, man. You know, and these things are about to get lifted, you know.
And pretty much backing up Jeremiah for what he was saying, we're going to be so perfect, man, because Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, is going to put these laws, statutes, and commandments in our inward parts. This is Jeremiah 31 and 31. And these are the things that we delight in. Again, these are the things that we look forward to, man, okay? This is Jeremiah 31 and 31. And it says, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break. Although I was a husband unto them, saith the Lord. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their God, and they shall be my people. And these are the things that we delighteth in, man. Like you say, what glory to come. This is what we look forward to, man. All right. But y'all got it.
I got a quote back just real quick. This is the book of Hebrews 8 and 6. But now have he obtained a more excellent ministry, by how much also he is the mediator of a better covenant, which was established upon better promise. And who is that mediator, man? Yahweh Shai. For if the first covenant had been faultless, then shall no place have been sought for the second, for finding fault with them. So essentially it's saying, hey, it was nothing wrong with the first covenant, but us being in these corruptible bodies, as Romans 8 says, the creature was made subject unto vanity. You know, since we've been in these bodies, we ultimately went out, which ultimately we transgressed the law, statutes, and commandments. For finding fault with them, he said, behold, the days come, saith the Lord. Well, I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, right? Both southern and northern kingdom. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continue not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith the Lord. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a power, and they shall be to me a people. And to back that up, a brother grab Revelation 21:1, read to like verse 4, and then we'll get to that scripture too, Asa. You know, so ultimately what we're going to be made perfect. And also brother grab 1 Corinthians the 15th chapter.
The Revelations
21:1.
Twinkling of an eye.
Yep.
I'm all, yeah. You get going, y'all.
The book of Revelation, chapter 21, and verse 1. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea.
Right. New going to the word kainos, which means refresh. And heaven is also synonymous with what? Rulership. Because ultimately we're in the rulership of Esau Edom. So what? It says, well, I seen a new heavens and a new earth. So ultimately what? The Lord is bringing back a refreshing in the earth. The Lord is going to take Esau out of power. That's why 2 6, it says, well, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. You know? But you had to done it.
It says, and I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from Yahweh out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband.
And right, this is John the Revelator ultimately having a vision, ultimately, because what? You know, Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. He's seeing the elect coming off that fathership, man. You know, ultimately what? What's that movie, Brightburn, to take the earth? You know, so ultimately what? When the elect gets delivered from, you know, ultimately that's the elder Shatari, we're going to get that 1 Corinthians 15, how we're going to be changing the twinkling of an eye, but we're going to be made perfect. You know, we're going to ultimately what? You know, take back, you know, beginning with Yahweh Shai. What's ours, man?
Revelation chapter 21, verse 3. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and Yahweh himself shall be with them and be their power. You know, it says, and Yahweh shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away.
Right, meaning what? We're not going to die anymore. We're not going to experience any sadness, any death. You know, you don't have to worry about, you know, your family members getting put to death, being, you know, killed, you know, you dying of an untimely death. You know, this is something that we're not going to have to worry about, man, because we're going to be made what? Immortals. You know, we're going to be changed.
When you flee this place, all those things going to be left behind.
Yep.
You know, Yahweh Shema Shara Zav, we the elect. You know, when the Lord beam us up in those chariots, man, all right, or whichever way you go, if you're keeping this truth into the end, you know, all those things will be behind you. That's why you just got to stay focused on the kingdom that's coming to us, man.
Yep. And I was talking to a brother a few months ago. I'll tell a few brothers this. Hey, this can be the very last time when we actually experience death. Like the bodies we're in currently right now. Hey, we're not dying no more, man. You know, Lord willing, you know, hey, we endure to the very end and we ultimately be changed, man.
And this is it right here, 1 Corinthians 15, and I'm going to start at 51. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and will show, and shall be changed. So, for this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. So, go ahead.
And you know, ultimately, what we're gonna, you know, these flesh that we're currently in, man, they're not gonna be in
prison suits.
Prison suits, because it talks about that in the Jude, you know, the chains of darkness. You know, so ultimately, what we're gonna be changed out of these chains of darkness into a body that's never gonna sin, never gonna go off, never gonna die. You know, that's going to be 100% perfect, man. You know?
Because it says flesh and blood can't enter into the kingdom, right? So, man, and it's you have to be changed over, man, all right? And these are the things that we look forward to, man. According to the Lord's promise, y'all bring out what y'all got.
I think it's a little bit more in that First Corinthians. Elder Target.
Okay, a little more meat on that bone.
Yep.
It says, so when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and the mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory.
Death is swallowed up in victory. Meaning what? We ultimately going to overcome death, man. To the point that we're not going to die anymore.
Yeah, we're going to get the victory.
And who was the first person to achieve that? Yahweh Shai, man.
Right.
So we got one.
I got some.
Just real quick, I know that the brother I've been holding this 1 John.
1 John 3 and 1. 1 John 3 and 1 reads, Behold, what manner of love the Father, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, hath bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of God. Therefore the world knoweth us not, because it knew him not. Verse 2, Beloved, now are we the sons of God, and it doth not yet appear what we shall be. But we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is.
Right, we shall see him as he is, because Yahweh Shai is in his ultimate glory right now. When Yahweh Shai came on the scene, he was perfect. Now he's in his ultimate glory right now, man. You know?
Well, Isaiah 47 chapter says he will not meet them as a man this time. Okay, right. So we're going to see our power in his full glory. All right. Okay.
Verse 3, and every man that hath this hope in him purifieth himself, even as he is pure.
Exactly right. And that was the point. But yeah, we should see him as he is, man.
Right.
You know, ultimately what? Being perfect. You know, we're going to be perfect, man. We're not going to sin. We're not going to go off, man. We're not going to even have the thought of sinning, man. You know? Anything y'all brothers have?
Isaiah 40, verse 31. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. So, you know, key word, it says those that wait upon the Lord. All right, all these other people, they're not waiting for the earnest expectation. Right, they're not waiting for the Lord to come back. They're trying to establish their own righteousness. You know, they're walking in their own lasciviousness. All right, but it says they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. So ultimately, we got to sit down for Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, for him to deliver us all these times, because we're look, the scriptures refer to us as worms. All right, what can a worm do? How does a worm defend itself? All right, we need protection. I saw a video of a robot dog patrolling. You know, Keisha, I mean, just women just simple as fuck. They're going up to the robot dog like, oh my god, it's so cute. But her whole time, this motherfucker like a whole murder machine, bro. All right, and I'm looking at it, bro. It's like, bro, ain't no way, bro. We need Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right. In the scriptures, it's a lot of scriptures that talk about, believing on the Lord, waiting on the Lord, being patient, just staying down. And you really see the Lord, he's not looking for you to do any labor and task. He's looking for you to show effort. All right. The Lord is looking for you to try and for you to strive for the truth unto death. All right.
You had something, Shemaiah?
I did, but I mean, if one of y'all has something, I'll come back on it.
2 Ezra 8 and 52. For unto you is paradise open.
Perfect. I was thinking about that.
The tree of life is planted. The time to come is prepared. Plenteousness is made ready. A city is builded, and rest is allowed. Yea, perfect goodness and wisdom. The root of evil is sealed up from you. Weakness and the moth is hid from you, and corruption is fled into hell to be forgotten. Sorrows are past, and in the end is shewed the treasure of immortality.
Can I just make a point on that verse? Like I said, it's rest is allowed. Hey, because being an Israelite in this society, every time you wake up, man, it's always gonna be some shit. You gotta wake up to some body pains. You know, if you got a woman, you gotta hear from my ass, man, because the scriptures talks about, we shall have trouble in the flesh. Not having enough money to get by. Going to a job you don't like. So we're ultimately striving in this truth, because Scripture says, you know, strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee. We're ultimately striving to get that rest, man. You know, a peace.
Sirach 4:28, strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee.
Strive for the truth unto death, and Yahweh shall fight for thee, man. You know, and that's what we're doing. Hey, we're striving, you know, making sure we're on point, you know, making sure we need to do what we need to do for Yahweh Shema Shah. You know, ultimately we're striving, man. You know, showing, you know, forth our faith.
I got one. This is Ruth chapter 2 and verse 12. Yahweh recompense thy works, and a full reward be given thee of Yahweh power of Israel, under whose wings thou art come to trust. So like I said, we come to take refugees and for hiding under him and preaching his word and pushing his word. We're gonna have a great reward coming for that.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna land back and build on that, back you up. This is Mark 10, and I'm gonna start about 28. Then Peter began to say unto him, Lo, we have left all and have followed thee. And Yahushua answered and said, Verily I say unto you, there is no man that hath left house, or brethren, or sisters, or fathers, or mothers, or wife, or children, or lands for my name's sake and the gospel's, but he shall receive 100-fold. Now in this time, houses and brethren and sisters and mothers and children and lands with persecutions, and in the world to come, eternal life. And that's what we delight in again, man. Hey, that's them greater riches that we look for, man. We seek those things above and not beneath, man. This is what we delight in and look for, man. Eternal life, man. All right. But y'all got it.
I got one for you. 2nd Esdras 2 and 10. A brother can grab me on his the Lord's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. 2nd Esdras 2 and 10, it says, and it reads, Thus saith the Lord unto Esdras, tell my people that I will give them the kingdom of Jerusalem, which I will have given unto Israel. Verse 11 says, their glory also will I take unto me, and give these the everlasting tabernacles which I have prepared for them. And what is those? That tabernacle, man. Hey, those new bodies, man. That's right. You know, because we're ultimately in a defiled house right now, which our spirits resides in, man. You know, hey, we get weak, because in that same chapter you read earlier, Mike, but what's that? Isaiah 40. If you read up a little bit, it says what? Even the youth shall faint. You know, every time you wake up, hey, your back crack. Yeah, I'm speaking to myself. I'm a 28-year-old man and feel like I'm not 95. Hey, we need to be changed ultimately, man. You know?
Hey, and everything is weaponized against us here, man. You know, the air is defiled with chemtrails back and forth every day, all day long. The water is full of mercury, you know, chloride. It's polluted, man. You know, we drink pollution. We breathe pollution. We eat pollution. GMOs, the food ain't no good, you know what I'm saying? Then you on, like he say, under constant stress, you know, the nigga woman is weaponized. Everything weaponized against us, man. So we need, and these are the things that we delight in, man, because what he say, if he shouldn't hasten the days, is that Matthew 24th chapter, it'd be nothing left to say, man. Esau practically kill himself.
Yeah, if he wasn't shorten the days, no flesh will be saved.
Be saved, right.
Yeah.
But man, we need, these are the things we delight in, that greater glory to come, man. This is what we look forward to, man, the coming of our power.
And I mean, to add to that too, Elder, the man has a poison fuel to destroy cars now, so you can get in alignment again with what he's throwing at us. You know, the electrical vehicles or the new ones, and you know, it's just constant. We don't get a break,
and it's always like this. Hey, if you're not for the forwarding of the kingdom and you know the work of Yahweh Shem Shai, man, hey, you're ultimately what? You're okay with the destruction of your people. You're okay with the devil ruling over you. And you okay with what? You know, this world in this current state, man. You know, if you're not looking forward to what? The kingdom. If you're not forwarding the work of Yahweh Shem Shai, if you're not ultimately in alignment, have the same mindset as Yahweh Shem Yahushua, get away. You're for the destruction of your people. You're for, the destruction of this whole of this world as we know it, man. And you're for Esau Edom being obedient. You're for these said things, man.
And you gotta go because it says every plant that my father has not planted will be rooted up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the scriptures also say, he that is not with me is against me, and they are not with me, they scattered abroad. And also that
12 and 30,
and also in that broad, the scriptures talk about, narrow is the way that leads to life, and broad is the way of destruction. So these people, they're just dancing in the broad. All these people that's not in this truth are not for Hamashiach, then ultimately all of them are anti-Hamashiach. It doesn't matter what they're doing. If they're not in this thing and they're not in this ministry, they're not serving the Lord, they're not calling on their names, they're not believing, and they're in smoke. They're gonna stay in the broad and be destroyed alongside with this devil.
God. The book of Matthew, chapter 12 and verse 30. He that is not with me is against me, and he that gathereth not with me scattereth abroad. Yeah, so it's a very clear line, honestly, at this point, man. Yeah, especially as an Israelite, man. I know the cross that we've had to bear.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't get no parts if you don't do that. So you show your work by your faith, man.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only way. How else you gonna say, I'm ready for the kingdom and you doing anything?
You said you was just a heathen yesterday, but now today you ready for the kingdom, huh?
No.
That's the reason why Esau in trouble right now.
Because this man believes he's on his deathbed. He can say, okay, I know I've done bad.
I know,
Lord, forgive me for what I've done.
Everything I've done.
As I pass away now, and I know that you will forgive me.
I ain't get no righteous. I ain't served you. I ain't preached for you. I ain't put the word for you. I ain't did nothing for you. But I'm going to wake up tomorrow and receive the blessing right along with y'all.
God know my heart.
Right.
This is Micah 2, verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with their sore destruction. As the brothers was just going to, listen to things that Esau has polluted. He's even polluted the television. He's polluted the media. All right, flooding, putting all the HMO stuff in kid shows. Ultimately it was destroying everything. All right, and his influence has reached across the world, and now the other nations are upset. All the other nations are touched by Esau. We're not, Jake isn't going to be the only ones beating Esau ass in the kingdom, man. All right, these other nations, they gonna have a kick at this nigga too, bro.
I got one for you, brothers. This book of 2 Corinthians 4:17. For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, working for us at far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. All right, so what Yahweh Shem Yahushua is ultimately going to reveal unto us is going to far outseed, the things that we go through on a daily basis. It reads verse 18. While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. Because I believe it talks about that in what's that? 1 Corinthians 9. They do it for a corruptible crown, but we are incorruptible.
Right.
So everything is temporal in this place. Our sufferings, everything is temporal, man. And ultimately we're going through this. It's a reason why we're going through this, man. It's ultimately what's the greater reward at the end of it, man.
I got one for you. Mm-hmm. It's Romans chapter 8 and verse 18. For I reckon that the suffering of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. So like the brother was quoting, what we going through on this side right now is nothing comparable to the glory that's going to be given. So you should be embracing your suffering now, I'm saying, because the more you suffer, the more you go through, the more Yahweh Shem Yahushua gonna bless you for laboring in His truth.
Mm-hmm. It says your labor is not in vain, man.
That's right.
Knowing that a crown of righteousness, awaiting.
That's like listening to Eve for guidance. This is a woman who puts wigs on top of hair, who puts nails on top of nails, who cuts her eyelashes, her eyebrows off just to draw some back on. I mean, the woman is confused. So
and then trying to tell you, I don't like men that wear the fake jewelry or wear fake stuff, that wear fake this, but You got the audacity, though.
Everything about
Your personality is fake.
Yeah, man. Come on.
You're just a husk of your old self before you were defiled.
Esau's pit bull.
Shit, we live in a world full of GMOs. Everything is genetically modified.
And that's why we delighted in the things for which to come, man, which is what this lesson is all about, man. Looking forward to the better glory of Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, you know, the good things that the Lord had for us, man. Mm-hmm. And that's what we delight in, man. All right? That's what we take pleasure in, man. That's why we wait and we endure. James 1:12, blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive that crown of life which the Lord has promised to them that love him, all right? Mm-hmm. So that's what we do, man. We don't succumb to these trials, afflictions, tribulations. We overcome them, man, all through the spirit of Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, okay? Sure. All right, because we know he won't put more on us than we can bear, all right, man? So we endure this suffering, man. You know, he say, be faithful to death, and I give thee a crown of life, huh? All right. What y'all got it? Go ahead.
2 Timothy 4, verse 8. Henceforth there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, shall give me at that day, and not to me only, but unto all them also that love is appearing. You know, as brothers are going into, you know, the Lord is not unrighteous if he gives labors of love. You know, so you know, it says, which the Lord, the righteous judge. Okay, the Lord is going to righteously judge everyone, man. All right, so those who, you know, those who fight for the Lord, you know, those who trust into the Lord, you know, those that, you know, that seen past Babylon, you know, that seen past this place, that seen past the block, you know, the Lord's going to, he's going to ultimately bless them. And they're going to be glorified with Yahweh Shai HaMashiach.
I mean, it has become normal to this man to mock the Lord. It's literally a joke to him. I'm holding Isaiah 5:20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. This man has a judgment coming, and he can't keep twisting this up to his benefit and think that he's going to get away with it. Judgment is coming, Esau.
And that's the shit we trying to get away from, man. That's the shit that's why we delighting in this better, you know, this better goodness of Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, man. That kind of shit we trying to get away from, man. You know, we tired. This, like you say, this is not our rest, man. All right, not our inheritance, man. We look for the better things to come. Okay, man. Anybody else?
Anybody's got any closing precepts? But I do got.
I got one. I got something we close with.
This is the book of James 5. And I'm gonna start at verse 10. And it reads, take my brethren the prophets who have spoken in the name of the Lord for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience. Behold, we count them happy which endure. Ye have heard of the patience of Job and have seen the end of the Lord. Because we ultimately know the whole story of Job, right? How he went through what he went through, and he was ultimately blessed. You know, his latter end was greater than his beginning.
That's right.
And it reads, and have seen the end of the Lord, that the Lord is very pitiful and of tender mercy. You know, that was that wanted to get that point, how, you know, we're all spiritual Jobs. I did that lesson a few years back. You know, we're all spiritual Jobs. You know, we're all going through it, but the Lord is going to bless at the end, man. You know, it's, hey, women we lost, family we lost. You know, we was casted to the side, jobs we lost, things we lost in this world. Ultimately, like Job. But ultimately, we're going to be blessed in the end. And the brothers have different testimonies and things, you know, like that, how the Lord ultimately came through for them. And that's on this side, man. We had mentioned that we're going to ultimately, we're going to get some of that glory on this side.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah, you got something about you?
I'm friend, so I got one to kind of back up the Job thing, Job story. It's this Proverbs 11 and verse 23. The desires of the righteous is only good, but the expectations of the wicked is wrath.
Yes, sir.
There is that scattereth and yet increase, and there is that withheld more than its meat, but intended to poverty. So that goes back to the whole Job story. Like I said, we desire to build the kingdom. That's our desire. So what comes after that? The reward. But for right now, we only focus on building and working for Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. We're not we're not living through this just for glory at the end of it. And that's why we're constantly being given an increase. But if you come into this with a profit-shaking mind, like Sakari and the rest of them, You're gonna be decreased down. Then you're gonna end up just like them, back into the world of confused minded. That's all I know.
Okay.
Just Psalms 84:10. For a day in thy courts is better than 1,000. I had rather be a doorkeeper in the house of my God than to dwell in the tents of wickedness. For Yahweh God is a sun and shield. The Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai will give grace and glory. No good thing will he withhold from them that walk uprightly. O Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai of hosts, blessed is the man that trusteth in thee.
Hey, hear what he just said, man. I'd rather be a doorman in the house of the Lord than dwell in wickedness, man. So, and I'm pretty sure all of us right here in this room feel the same way, man. I'd rather be, you know, we part of the 1/3, man, you know, than dwell in this wicked ass world, man. You know what I'm saying? This is some wickedness. I mean, this ain't living, okay? And if you thinking about having some stock, you know, putting your trust, leaning on what's that Isaiah 36:6, that broken reed, leaning on that staff of Pharaoh, you done, you ruined, man. All right, and if you're not delighting in them things, these things that we're talking about, taking a delight in, man, then you're gonna get thrust through, like it talks about in that Isaiah 13th chapter. But I got some pretty much. This is 2 Peter 3. And I'm going to start about 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in that which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fever and heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. So if you ain't taking a delight in this here, if you ain't looking forward to the destruction of this place, man, later for you, man. All right, man. Bye. Get away from me, man. All right. It says, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of person ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? And that word conversation goes into your conduct, man. How should you be carrying yourself? How should you be conducting yourself, your business, all right, man? And that should be Isaiah 26:3. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, man. You should be always focused, you know, keep a single eye and see everything through a spiritual lens, man. All right. Looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of God, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Okay. Point being 13. All right. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. Wherefore, beloved, seeing that ye look for such things, be diligent that ye may be found of him in peace, without spot and blameless, okay? And account that the long suffering of our Lord is salvation. So, man, that's what we're looking forward to, salvation, man. And that's what we say, Acts 14:22, through much tribulation must we enter into this here rest, all right? This kingdom that we talking about, man. All right, and that's what we delight in, that new heavens. According to his promise, that's what he said he got for them, his elect, right? So, man, man, stay rooted, stay trusted in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai.
That's right. Brothers, had any closings? Y'all all good? So with that being good, everybody. So with that being said, we hope this lesson was edifying. Want to end up again our praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Rekakadash.
Double honors to the elders and the apostles of great millstones. Tell us the truth and salutations to the hopeful light that's around the four corners of the globe. Lord, we hope this lesson was edifying. Till next time, Kwame Yasharallah. Shalom and Baba.
Hey, that was clean. That was clean. Hey, y'all